Hello and welcome back to day 2 of Airtable Series. And in today's video, let's see how do we import data into Airtable, how do we connect Google Sheets, and a lot more. Let's get started. Okay, so first things first, let's quickly check how do we import data from some other application, right? So I'll click on import, and the commonly used options like CSV file, Microsoft Excel, or Google Sheets is available on the top, which is popular import sources. But we also have paste table data, Apple numbers, Microsoft Access, Asana, Trello, contacts, a lot more, right? And what we are going to do today is from Google Sheets for now. And this is the Google Sheets that we are going to import. We have users and then tickets. Users, we have ID, name, email, phone number, role, created at, and status, right? Likewise, tickets, we have the ticket ID, the subject, the description of the ticket, status like open, pending, resolved, closed, priority high, medium, low, customer ID, the assigned agent ID, and created at. So these are the two tables that we want to import into Airtable. So let's quickly check how do we do that. So we click on Google Sheets and we have to tell which particular Google account are we trying to get the data from. And for that, we'll have to connect our Google account. Okay, that's connected. You can see the customer support here. That's precisely the file that we're using here. Okay, so I'll click on select. And what it does is it reads the data. Okay, you can see here we have users, we have tickets, we have all the columns. Okay, you can go with all fields here. You can say which are the fields that you want to import. Let's say, for example, for whatever reason, you don't need name. So just uncheck this and name will be removed while it is importing. It will not make any changes in the Google Sheets. While it is importing, it will just remove this column in Airtable, right? And because we need it, I'll check this again. We also have all sheets. If you want only users, you can import only users. If you want both, you can import both, and so on and so forth. Okay. Even if you click on this drop down here, you can check what type of field it is, right? Like single line text or long text or whatever you need. You can see here email is long text, it says. We will make it as email, right? Likewise, you can make changes to the field types of the fields that you are importing. Okay, we have other settings here, which is auto select field types. Okay, and use first row as header. Okay, both of them I'll check and I'll click on import. Now, one of the things that you will have to keep in mind is when it is importing. Okay, let's say for example we go to tickets, and here we have like open, pending, closed, resolve. Now this particular field here has resolve. Okay, but if we didn't have any fields which had resolved as a status, then resolved as an option here would not be imported. The reason is when it is importing the data from Google Sheets, it will not read what are the values available in the dropdown. It will just read all the values of each of the rows and then get the unique values and make those as the drop-down options. Okay, now because we had result, it is added a result in this drop-down as well. So I'm just sharing this so that in case if you are importing some data and if there is some data that is missing out, like the drop-down options, then this is the reason. So in the tickets table, we have customer ID and assigned agent ID. These are the IDs of the users in the users table. You can see here, right? But these are not linked. These are just plain text. So if I go here and if I click on edit field, right? This is long text. What we want is a link to another record. So I'll show you once again, customer ID, click on this drop down, click on edit field, and from long text, change it to link to another record. It will ask you what record do you want to link it to, and that is going to be users, right? Now, each of these records will be linked to only one customer ID. So allow linking to multiple records should be disabled. Okay. Show display name instead of primary field. So if you want to show the display name, you could do that, or otherwise it will be shown with IDs, right? Limit record selection to a view, blah blah blah. So we'll not go to the advanced settings. I'll just click on save. I'll click on confirm change. So it will take a few seconds, and soon you should be able to see the difference between customer ID, which is linked to users table, and assigned agent ID, which is not linked. Now it is asking you for add lookup fields. Like, do you want ID, name, email, phone, role, all of the fields of users? If you want any of those to be added, you can add that. Okay, so I'll skip this for now. And you can see here, this is colored, okay, while this is not. So if I click on any of this one, right, then it will open up, it will show us all the details of that particular user. Okay, now we'll do the same thing over here. Go to assigned agent ID, edit field, link to another record, users, do not allow multiple records, and click on save. Confirm change and skip it. So here as well, if I open it up, then it will show the details of the user, which means it is linked to the user table. Now, if you want to import more data, right? Let's say you imported from Google Sheets to this one, but now you have more data to be imported. Then you can click on this drop down, click on import data, go to Google Sheets. Again, select the same account. Okay. And it'll ask you which file. So select the file, right? Then you have all these records. Okay, we have tickets because we selected from tickets here. Okay, and you can map the fields. Okay, which data should go in which of the columns, right? This we don't have because it is linked data. So I'll skip this for now. And once you're done with this, again, which is that you want? This is users table. So we need tickets. Okay, not the users. So these are the tickets, right? So once we have these details, we'll go to other settings, exclude first row in import. Okay, that is the header. So we'll use this one, and yeah, so I'll click on import. You can see the same record again coming from the Google Sheets. Now we didn't have any new data, so we have imported the same thing. I'm going to delete this. And now if you want to export the data, then you click on this drop down, grid view, and you can download it as CSV from here. Now, before we dig deeper into other Airtable features, let's understand how can we bring collaborators in, which means whatever workspace we have created, whatever tables we have created, how do we share it with others so that they can access the data, edit the data, and so on and so forth, right? So for that, let's move to Airtable. And I'll go to workspace, and we have this YouTube series here. Okay. And on the right side, you can see share, click on that. And you can see here only you have access, right? Now invite via email. You can invite them via email or invite via link. Okay. So if we go here, then you have the option of inviting anybody via link. Okay. So permission is creator can fully configure and edit base, which means they'll have access to the entire base. Okay, editor can add, edit, and delete records and views, but can't configure base or interfaces. So if you remember, when we open this up, we have interfaces, right? So they cannot edit any of those. Okay, so let's go here. And then we have commenter can view and leave comments in the base and interfaces. So they can only leave comments, nothing else. Read only can only view records. They cannot edit anything. They cannot add comments. They can only view records. Okay. Owner can fully configure and edit bases and manage workspace settings and billings. Okay. So let's go with creator for now. Allow any email addresses or only allow emails from. Okay, so here I can give like art is already there with 7 dot, yeah, right? So I can mention this, And if I give this particular link, anybody with emails ending with @red7.ai will have access to it. Okay. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite them by email. So I'm going to say support@red7.com. Okay, so I'm going to select this and let it be created. I'll click on invite. Now you can see 2 people have access to this particular workspace. And if I go back here and go to Airtable, and if we go to shared YouTube series, that's you, right? And you can see here, this is with 14 days left. Okay, while this is 1000 days, which is 4 days left. Okay, the trial period I'm talking about. So the billing is always on workspace level. Now, if you want to give access to any particular app, let's say, for example, customer support, right? You want to give access to only this and not the entire workspace. Then you can open up the app and then click on share here. Okay, again, invite collaborators, share to web, right? Invite, you can give, invite them via email or via invite link. Okay, the same concept. But if you go to share to web, then you can turn it on. Okay, and this is the link that people will have to use for accessing the app. Okay, manage link settings. So if you go here, then you have options of anybody on the web, which means anybody on the web can access this if they have the link. So even if I go to incognito mode and open this up, okay, I will have access to the data. So it's just taking some time. Let me refresh. And you can see here, users and tickets, right? I have access to it without logging in. And then anyone on an admin approved domain. Okay, again, this is business plan. Anyone at the domain. So here, if I go, I can give a particular domain. And if they belong to that domain, then they can have access to it. Okay, it requires a password. So if you are sharing it with public, then you can go with anyone on the web. But if you are sharing it with a known community or something like that, it's always to have a password. Okay, and share the link and the password with them. Of course, they can share it with others and all of that can happen. Allow viewers to copy data out of the space. If you don't want that, then disable this. Show extensions added to this base. So if there are any extensions added, do you want it to be shown or not, right? So this is how you do it. Now let's quickly check about the filters. It's self-explanatory. We can just add conditions here. We can say ID, subject, description, status, and so on and so forth. So status is open, so it will filter out with open status and so on and so forth. So that's self-explanatory. We'll go with grouping. And if I go by grouping, then these are meant for not like single line text or multi-line text and so on and so forth. It is meant for status, priority, like drop down and customer ID, something that can have matching values, right? So if I go to status, then you can see open status is grouped together, pending status is grouped together, closed status grouped together, and resolved grouped together, right? So I can also go with subgroups, okay, and I can add, let's say, priority. Now what will happen is within open, we will have high, medium, low, right? And within pending also we'll have subgroups. So here what has happened is we have high tickets, 2 in this thing. So let me just do one thing. Let me just open this up and make it as medium, right? So you can see here within open we have 1 high, 1 medium, right? So if I close this, both of them will be hidden inside. So we have groups. I'm just going to delete both of them. And then we have sort. Okay, you can sort it by ID, subject, description, status, priority. Okay, let's say priority. So you want first to last or last to first. Again, this is alphanumeric. Okay, so this is empty, that's why it is on the top. High, medium, 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 low. So if I make it as last to first, then low will go on top, medium, 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 high. Okay, So that is sorting for you. Okay, then we have color. So select color. Color records the same as a single select field, okay, or conditions. So if you go here, then you can choose. So if you select this one, then you will have to select which is the color that you want, like status or priority, because both of them have colors. So if I go to status, okay, then you can go here and say which color do you want and so on and so forth. So here you can select whether you want it for status or priority, okay. Both of them seem to have similar colors, but let's go with status. And here you can see the color getting changed, right? So let me just go to open and make it a bit darker. Let's say pink. Okay, you can see here the color is getting changed. Okay, this is the color that we are talking about. Okay, and one more option that we have is conditions. Okay, where you can give some conditions like ID is, let's say, written. Okay, 1000. Okay, add color, and here I can select the color. Let's say pink. So all of them becomes pendant, right? So this is where the colors can change based on conditions. Okay, so I'm going to remove them. So finally we have share and sync, basically, which means you can share this view with others and they can sync the data. As we can see, we have create link to view and then we have sync data to another base. So if you want to share your base with another user, okay, and the data between your base and their base has to be synced, then you can use this particular option. Okay, embed this view, create a form view, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's all we had for today. So we saw a lot of options today, like sharing the base with other users, sharing the app with other users, and all the options around sharing. We saw filters, sorting, color, and all of that. So this is the basic of Airtable, and we will be moving towards more advanced features as we progress in this series. I hope you're enjoying this series, and if so, please do share it with your friends, families, and colleagues so that they can also level up in this AI world. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.